Okay, let's talk about managing our pop-ups. We have a pop-up listing here, and it's not going to go on forever. If I have more and more pop-ups, it'll actually become a scrollable window. So we don't need to worry about, adding more and more. You may have more and more already. When the update went live, all of your site alerts were converted to pop-ups. So if we want to create a brand new pop-up, we're just going to select New Pop-up. So pop-ups, when created, have a plethora of defaults. We have pop-up title, pop-up content goes here, and display. It's gonna fade by default. It's by default white with black text. So the preview says it all. This is what pop-ups look like when they're created by default. They're also enabled by default. And if I go down to timing, they have a cookie duration of 60 minutes, or about an hour. So go ahead and skip to or watch the video over pop-up configuration to learn more about what this means exactly. Um, and then on closed, we can define what happens whenever we close a pop-up. Anyway, so creating new pop-ups is pretty simple. However, the caveat here is that pop-ups are not saved until you hit save pop-up. So if I go ahead and just refresh right now and then reload my pop-up editor, what we should find is that that pop-up that I just created is not there. I'm gonna let this, wrong one. Okay, load up alerts, site pop-ups, and it's not there. The reason for that is because uh, we would like you to be able to make sure that that's the pop-up you want. If it's enabled by default, as soon as you hit new pop-up, it's going to start showing on the website. And so new pop-ups are not saved until you actually save. Go figure. However, if I were to take one of these alerts here and hit duplicate, then the pop-up that's created as a result, duplicate. Am I crazy? Okay. Yeah, we have to select one. That's strange. But the pop-up that's created as a result is saved. This is a new pop-up, and it's not enabled because this alert here was not, or this pop-up wasn't enabled. And so it's an exact clone of the one that we had selected. So I'll go ahead and select that and delete. So delete, pretty self-explanatory. We get a message there that says the pop-up was successfully deleted. However, and there's a lot of caveats here because mistakes can be made. Um, if you notice, the pop-up configuration is still set in the window here. So if you accidentally delete a pop-up, you can hit the save button, and that will essentially undo um, the changes that you made. So in most circumstances, the pop-up list will refresh by itself. I'm going to go ahead and delete this one. It still is in the preview. Click to undo. Okay. Um, yes, the pop-up list will reset by itself. I select new pop-up and I do save. It tells me the pop-up list will refresh in just a moment. That's all fine. However, if I go to a different pop-up and I make a change, I'll just say alert B, for example, and click save, it's going to tell me to be sure to refresh the pop-up list. So it is a pretty costly thing to refresh this list, especially if we have tons and tons of pop-ups. So it won't update every time. Notice we have some information about the pop-up, the title, the content, when it's active. So this will define the date range, the start to end date range, and then when it was created and by whom. So if I click refresh pop-ups, you'll see that this one changed to say alert B. Something else that's pretty new, um, relatively new in configure, I can set this pop-up to never end, so it's always going to be um, active, uh, but active and enabled are not the same thing. So I'll click save pop-up now, and then I'll refresh the pop-up list, and now it says active forever. So that's one of the things that you should keep in mind when dabbling with pop-ups. There are active pop-ups, and then there are enabled pop-ups. So this one here is active forever. So active just means that it's defined to start and end, um, you know, far enough apart to where it'll be active essentially. So if we have pop-up starts on the 11th and then it ends on the 12th, well, that's not active because today is the 18th. And so it's past the end date, actually. Yeah. So it's past the end date. So this pop-up will not appear on any of the pages that it's defined to appear on. And so that's the active state. So a pop-up has to be active and enabled for it to show. So we want to make sure we toggle enabled, and that will allow this pop-up to show as well. So there's many ways that you can switch up your pop-ups. Just make sure that we have them toggled properly. Um, okay, I believe that's everything with managing our pop-ups. So I'm going to go ahead and toggle all these and delete. So for the next videos, we can go over each of these settings individually, and I'll see you then.